There's a budgie somewhere right now flinching at a closed door, refusing a hand that's never once heard it, getting written off as difficult. Here's what almost nobody catches. Difficult and afraid look exactly the same from the outside. One is who the bird is, the other is what happened to the bird. Mixing those two up is the single biggest mistake budgie owners make, so let's actually fix that right now. Before we get into this, the membership is open if you want to go deeper with this channel. Members-only videos, relaxing budgie footage, me drawing budgies live, funny budgie compilations. First video's already up. With that said, let's jump back in. Freezes instead of exploring. Most owners think a quiet budgie is a content budgie, sitting still on the perch, not chirping, not reaching for a toy. It reads as peaceful. But there's a very different reason a bird goes still, and it has nothing to do with contentment. Behaviorists call it tonic immobility, a freeze response that kicks in when an animal decides moving is more dangerous than staying put. Instead of exploring a new perch or investigating a sound, the bird locks in place and scans. Every movement in the room, every shift in light, every footstep. It's tracking all of it, waiting to see what happens next. This kind of hypervigilance can develop after repeated stressful experiences, even ones that seemed small to you. A hand that moved too fast once, a loud noise that startled them at the wrong moment. The nervous system remembers, even when the bird can't explain why. Fear doesn't always stay still though. Sometimes it fights instead. Bites before you even touch them. Every owner with a biter assumes the same thing. Bad attitude, difficult bird, just how he is. That's usually the wrong story. Defensive aggression and pure aggression look identical from the outside, but they come from opposite places. A budgie that strikes the second a hand gets close isn't trying to start something. It's trying to end something before it begins. Research on fear-based aggression in animals suggests that biting first is often a learned strategy. If waiting to see what a hand does has gone badly before, striking early starts to feel safer than waiting around to find out again. The bite isn't rage. It's a decision made in a fraction of a second by a nervous system that's been burned. None of this means the behavior shouldn't be addressed. It absolutely should. It just means the question changes. Not why is this bird so aggressive, but what taught this bird that hands aren't safe. Some birds stop fighting back entirely. Instead, they slowly disappear, faces the wall, or withdraws. Withdrawal is easy to miss because it looks like nothing at all. The budgie that used to climb toward the cage door now stays on the back perch. The one that used to call back when you talk to it goes quiet. Owners often describe this as the bird settling in or getting older, calmer, lower maintenance. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's something else. Reduced curiosity, less vocalizing, avoiding interaction even when nothing threatening is happening. These can be signs of a state researchers describe as learned helplessness, where an animal stops trying to engage because past attempts to avoid something stressful didn't work. The bird isn't calm. It's conserving energy for a threat it still expects. This is one of the hardest signs to catch because a withdrawn bird causes no problems. It just slowly stops showing up. And even when a budgie looks settled on the outside, their nervous system can still be running the same alert it's been running for months. Panics at ordinary sounds or movements. A door closes somewhere in the house. Someone laughs too loud. A hand reaches toward the cage a little faster than usual, and the reaction is enormous. Wings slamming against bars, a launch off the perch, a panic that seems wildly out of proportion to whatever just happened. Most owners chalk this up to budgies just being jumpy by nature. And to some degree, that's fair. They're a prey species, built to react first and assess later. But there's a difference between a startle response and a startle response that never calms back down. In birds living with chronic stress, the threshold for what counts as dangerous drops. Ordinary household sounds start triggering the same response that an actual predator would. An unpredictable environment, inconsistent routines, sudden loud noises, frequent changes can keep that threshold low indefinitely. Sometimes stress stops living only in the moment. It starts showing up in the body long after the noise is gone. Damages their own feathers through stress. Feathers are not just for flying. For a stressed bird, they can become something to control when nothing else feels controllable. Overpreening starts normally enough. Birds groom themselves daily. It's expected. But when preening turns into chewing, plucking, or damaging feathers faster than they can regrow, behaviorists refer to it as feather-damaging behavior, and it's rarely about hygiene at that point. Chronic anxiety, boredom, and understimulation are commonly linked to this pattern. The behavior becomes repetitive because it temporarily relieves something the bird has no other way to release. Here's the part that matters most though. Feather damage should never be assumed to be purely psychological. Nutritional deficiencies, skin conditions, parasites, and other medical issues can produce nearly identical symptoms, and only an avian vet can tell the difference. Jumping straight to "he's stressed" without ruling out a physical cause is one of the most common mistakes owners make. And sometimes, when stress goes unaddressed long enough, the body begins shutting down in other ways too. Stops eating when they no longer feel safe. A frightened or chronically stressed bird may start eating less, and this is the one sign on this list that should never wait. Stress hormones can directly suppress appetite, and a budgie that's emotionally overwhelmed may simply stop reaching for food the way it normally would. But here's the part that has to be said clearly. Reduced appetite in a budgie is also a medical emergency. Full stop. Budgies have incredibly fast metabolisms, and even a day or two of not eating enough can become dangerous quickly. This is not a sign to sit with and observe for a week. If your budgie's eating has changed, even a little, the right next step is an avian veterinarian, not a behavior journal. Emotional causes and medical causes can look the same from across the room, and only a vet can tell you which one you're actually dealing with. None of this means your budgie is broken. It means something simpler and more hopeful. Fear is learned, which means safety can be learned too. Trust doesn't rebuild in one dramatic moment. It rebuilds in hundreds of small, predictable ones. Slow movements, letting the bird choose. The same routine, repeated until it stops feeling like a test. One safe interaction rarely changes anything. A few hundred of them usually do. If one of these finally explains something you've been noticing in your own bird, tell me which one in the comments. And if any of this made you want to talk it through with people who actually get it, that's exactly what the membership discussion room is sitting there for. The budgie that flinches at a closed door today may, somewhere down the line, choose to fall asleep beside the person standing on the other side of it. If you love learning how budgies think, a quick like helps this channel grow. Until the next one, try not to get bitten before then. See you inside the flock.